Hello and welcome to Music Scene SDTV's very first episode. On this new program, we're going to try to take an in-depth look at San Diego's music community, both on stage and behind the stage, trying to find out a little bit about what goes on at all levels of our music scene. So starting out every episode from now on, we're going to have a little bit of a news segment to discuss the happenings, goings on, shows, etc., that are happening in San Diego at the moment. Concerts are back in a big way, and that goes down to the national level. Humphrey's Concerts by the Bay, for example, starts their music series August 17th with Trampled by Turtles, ending up November 19th with an appearance by Latin group Camillo. Other groups appearing throughout the season will be Adamant, Chicago, The Temptations, Chris Isaak, The Cult, Tower of Power, and also August 24th at Humphrey's Concerts by the Bay will be the San Diego Music Awards, the 30th edition, which will include appearances from Cindy Lee Berryhill, Electric Mud, Chicken Bone Slim, Brisa Lauren, The Frets, Ed Kornhauser, Maruja, and more. We're going to be announcing the Lifetime Achievement Award on June 14th, so look forward to that. Also coming up soon are the Concerts by the Shell series, which will include appearances by Brian Wilson, Indigo Girls, Jason Mraz, and more. That's down at the South Embarcadero. That kicks off this month. Also, be sure to check out the Wonder Bus, which is a fascinating new concert idea that brings live music around town literally on a bus. You can see them driving by, playing their music. They're all over town. Be sure to check out wonderbus.com for more information on that. A couple of key events coming up that you may be interested in include on June 15th, the Surfaris, yes, the legendary band that played the song Wipeout, will be playing with the Tourmaliners at Tio Leo's. Meanwhile, on July 31st, Agent Orange and the Spice Pistols, the cross-dressing band that plays Spice Girl songs Sex Pistol style, will be appearing at the Casbah. On September 11th, the original Starfires featuring Laurie B.B. Lewis, formerly of the Buckinghams, and the Mamas and Papas, will be doing a show at the Star Theater in Oceanside. Now, this show is going to be particularly memorable because of the opening acts. As great as the original Starfires are, we're going to have an appearance by Larry Tamblyn of the Standells and Dirty Water fame, as well as an appearance by Cannibal and the Headhunters of Land of a Thousand Dances fame. That's going to be a really, really, really fun show. Finally, in upcoming events that you should definitely check out, June 19th, at Krakatoa, in the parking lot, there's going to be a special event for Ben Johnson's film Fanboy and the release of a new vinyl soundtrack. So make sure to check that out. It's all ages, and that one's free. Starts at 4 p.m. Now, I'm also going to point out just a little bit of news about new releases and some fun things that have been coming out in San Diego from San Diego-related artists. And the first one I want to point out is that Greg Douglas, a fine guitar player from North County, has a brand new album out, sort of. It's out as a member of the Steve Miller Band. A 1976 concert is being released by Capitol Records. Check that out, Live 1976. Also from San Diego, Evening's Empire, the band featuring Shannon Woods of the Dinettes, has a song called Tonight in the new movie called Eat Wheaties, featuring, actually starring Tony Hale. That's a big, big deal there. And our final little tidbit of news for the day, and don't forget, there'll be news every episode starting out, is can you tell me who Ringo Starr's second favorite bass player is in the whole world? Well, it happens to be Nathan East from San Diego, who plays on two songs on Ringo's new EP, Zoom In, and that includes the title track, Here's to the Night, the single, Here's to the Night, as well as the single track, Waiting for the Tide to Turn. Nathan has also played with George Harrison and has been on the last 4 Ringo Starr albums. That's a heck of an accomplishment, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Go to Nathan East's Wikipedia page and be stunned by the amount of artists he's played with. Everybody from Madonna to, well, on down. So that's the news for today. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hello and welcome back to the first edition of Music Scene SDTV. We're going to try to shed a little light on San Diego's music community, both the performers and the people in the background a little bit. And we figured who better to start the first episode with than Brian Witkin, CEO and chief bottle washer of Pacific Records located in Point Loma. Here we have Brian Witkin. Thank you for coming, Brian.
Pleasure to be here.
So, Brian, tell me, we're coming out of a pandemic now, right? And that's a wonderful thing. How hard has it been to maintain the label over the last few years?
Well, during the pandemic, surprisingly, we had a very productive year, primarily because everyone was stuck at home, and all creators really had to do was create. So the void that came to play with the lack of live music, I think we supplemented that with releasing more material and singles and records than we ever have in 1 year. So that's not to say that it made up for everything that was lost with our artists and everything with the pandemic, but we've been really busy, bottom line.
Wow. Now, what kind of, I mean, this is a San Diego based label, obviously, but are you looking for San Diego artists, international artists? What kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Let people know who some of the acts are that you've had on the label.
Sure. So not specifically San Diego, although I would say because we're not genre specific, that's actually one of the things that ties us together is the San Diego lifestyle. We all sort of surf, skate, have that laid back, not LA approach to things. But no, we work with artists across the world. Actually, we've signed a group in the UK. We have artists in New Jersey, all across the country. So we don't discriminate based on genre or location.
I will say the man is being a little modest because he has some amazing acts on the label, not the least of which would be the Guitar Legends compilation soundtracks. Tell him a little bit about that.
Sure. So Guitar Legends is a series. It's actually a soundtrack to until last year what was a live show. With the pandemic, of course, we did the first in-studio version, but it's basically where a bunch of celebrity artists get together, and it's for a very good cause. It's called America Salutes You. They help veterans and first responders, and it's basically a fundraiser live show, or like I said, last year it was an in-studio show.
Right, and does Billy Yes. from ZZ Top is a big part of that.
Yeah, he hosts it every year.
And who are some of the acts that have been on these records?
Yeah, so we've had quite a few every year. Billy, of course, is sort of the unifying person behind all of that, but everyone from Orianti to some of the Eagles, and of course they play their hit songs too. Right. And it's just a who's who of artists that come through.
That's right. You actually did a live recording at Wonderfront, the first edition of Wonderfront.
We brought it to San Diego. That's right.
Right. So cool. Now, beyond being a CEO and working with cool performers like that, you're also in a band.
I am.
What's the name of the band?
Cambrian Shores.
Cambrian Shores. And we're going to slide this over just a little bit to show off the colored vinyl EP. Yeah, very, very cool vinyl, of course, being the hip in thing. So definitely pick this up. And you're up for San Diego Music Awards this year, aren't you?
I am. And the title track on that record, actually, Coming Home.
Which is?
Best Indie Alternative.
Great. Now, going forward with Pacific Records, what sorts of things are you looking for? I noticed, for example, one of the big records you guys put out last year was Rebecca Jade and Jason Mraz's Bad Wolves.
Yes.
Do you plan to do more things like that?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, that's a great example of like a collective of San Diego musicians coming together for a great cause to, get a message out there while producing good music. So yes, I hope so. And of course, live music now that we're back. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am for just the next 2 months, let alone the whole year. So
yeah, it really does feel like it's going to go off this year, as they say. So what have you got coming up? What are some new projects that you have coming up with Pacific Records?
So, I mean, everything from new artists in the pipeline that I can't talk about yet, but I'm very excited about. We've got a release actually on June 4th. So, a few days coming, one of our LA artists, Kubota. And we have a whole release calendar coming up in the next 6 months. Oh, great material.
That is awesome. Well, Brian, San Diego has a great tradition of music in general, but in particular, there's been a lot of great surf and 60s influenced bands. And one of the best in town is called the Tourmaliners. So right now, I would like to welcome on our first guest on our first episode, which is musical guest, that is, which is Deven Berryhill of the Tourmaliners. Deven, come on over. See it. Ah, boy. How's it going?
Oh, man, couldn't be better.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, if you haven't heard the Tourmaliners yet, it's not just instrumental surf, but that is a big focus of it. But they also play key tracks, great dance music from the late 50s, 60s, and so on. And to my mind, they play it the right way, which is it's not slavish reproduction, although every note is perfect. It's played with heart and passion. And that's the important thing. It's a contagious feeling. I've never seen less than a smiling face on a full dance floor when I've seen you guys play. It's just been wonderful. So that's my hype on the Tourmaliners. Great band. Now, I'm going to jump right in and dig into the obvious, which is you come from a family of musicians.
Yeah, I do. My father was in the surf band, the Safaris from the 1960s. You probably remember the song Wipeout. Everybody likes to pound on their desk with the Wipeout beat. So I kind of raised up in that. And then eventually, as unfortunately, a few of the members have passed away, the original band, my dad's kind of the last guy standing. of the original crew. So he's filled in with other side musicians, and I've been blessed enough to play second guitar for him for the last 20 years. And so that's been a lot of fun. But coming into the Tourmaliners, that was something kind of, I'm a songwriter as well, and wanted a little more modern take on the classic 60s thing, where I wanted to kind of bring in some of that beach San Diego kind of vibe to it. So you'll hear a lot of stuff in our material that kind of is somewhat representative maybe of like a Jack Johnson meets Dick Dale on a song, or maybe a Sublime reggae kind of vibe on one song, but it has that kind of Safari's electric guitar on top. So
cool. Now, how many albums do you have out now?
we have 2 albums.
Okay.
We've got Tourmaline Dream. I think you got a copy here.
Yeah, I think it's right here. We'll go ahead and get this out.
And then this is our first album right here, if I can grab that.
Yep. Organization, that's key here.
This one here. This is one that we did just basically a bunch of demos that we put together. And that was a lot of fun. We put that out last May, and it won in the UK. There's a magazine, an instrumental magazine that reviews many of the big surf bands. They gave it an album of the year.
Oh, phenomenal.
It's called Pipeline Magazine. And then last year during pandemic, we actually came out with our first vinyl, Surfing Christmas Carols. We thought, hey, everybody likes a kind of a vintage kind of Christmas album.
Right.
So, and I picked all the songs that were public domain, so I didn't have to pay any publishing.
Nice.
Yeah, something to keep in mind if you're doing covers. Public domain is a big help. Yeah, you don't have to pay for that.
Public domain is nice, but we did basically surf versions of all your favorite classic Christmas carols.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, obviously, surf is a big thing in your family, but were you ever tempted to play anything else? I mean, death metal, folk polkas, something besides that? I mean,
yeah, I grew up high school in the 80s and into the 90s in college. So, I mean, my favorite band was probably U2, The Clash, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols. So I had garage bands kind of like that on the side on my own that I did that. And then into the 90s, I got a little more into people like Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, kind of more the guitar slinger thing. Really got into almost blues, but more kind of alternative-y, little Red Hot Chili Peppers thrown in there.
That's excellent. Now, let me ask you, why do you think surf music still resonates? I mean, it's been 50, 60 years now, right? And it's still in soundtracks. It's still, it still packs the clubs.
It is amazing. Playing with my dad in the Safari so many years, I've been able to watch these audiences and just we go through and we play this music and really hasn't been heard on a mainstream level. Like you said, Wipeout was a hit, almost 60 years ago now.
Yeah.
So surf music hasn't been in the top 10 for a long time. But when people hear it live, they're so used to seeing it in the context of like a Frankie and Annette, beach blanket bingo kind of goofy almost kind of scenario. When you see an artist like before he passed away, someone like Dick Dale live, man, that's powerful.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, I remember the first time I heard Dick Dale play at the Orange County Fair back in the late 70s as a kid. I was just like, whoa, I want to do that.
You ever watch him change a broken string while he's playing lead? Yeah, amazing.
He plays like 14s for strings.
Unbelievable player, yes, absolutely. So what's coming up next for the Tourmaliners?
Well, if I can show our little poster.
You absolutely can.
This is, we're doing a couple shows here. I'll present this here. On the 15th, we're playing at Tio Leo's with the Safaris. Actually, our first time the Tourmaliners and the Safaris playing together. I'm playing with both bands, so I'm kind of doing double duty. But this is going to be a lot of fun. We're playing the next night. We're playing up in Orange County, a place called Campus Jacks. And then there's a third show that's looking like it's going to come together up in Vista.
Well, that's great.
I can't announce yet because we haven't officially released it. But
well, I think this is a good segue. Deven is going to play a song for us in just a moment. But I want to point out that things in California are supposed to reopen up again on June 15th. This show at Tio Leo's with the Safaris and the Tourmaliners is the perfect way to kick off the cobwebs after the end of the pandemic situation. So I hope to see you guys there and gals at Tio Leo's on June 15th. And check it out. In a second, they'll be up here to play a song. You're going to love it. Hello and welcome to Music Scene SDTV and a brand new segment called Cool Stuff. In this segment, we're going to showcase new items with a San Diego bent of a musical persuasion, new releases, maybe a guitar pedal, an instrument, a book, all kinds of things that people that like San Diego music will want to add to their collection. The very first item that we're going to have is the reissue of the Beat Farmers Tales of the New West album.
Okay, so this is a reissue.
Yes.
What's different from the original?
Well, I'm glad you asked, actually. This not only includes remastered versions of the songs originally on the album, everything from Bigger Stones to There She Goes Again, but it also includes a nifty booklet full of memorabilia. And this is just, if you're a collector, it's a book in itself. This is worth the price of admission. But if that wasn't good enough, on top of that, you get a full live album recorded at the Spring Valley Inn in 1983, making this Beat Farmers album an essential addition to any music fan's collection. Be sure to pick one up. Welcome back to Music Scene SDTV. Now we've got one of the best bands in town. Here they are, the Tourmaliners. Wow, that was a Tourmaliners with España. That was incredible. I don't know. My guitar must be broken. It doesn't do anything like that. That's amazing. So you'll be able to catch these two gentlemen, Joe Dameron on the end, Deven Berryhill here at Tio Leo's on June 15th, opening for the Safaris. That's going to be an incredible show. Don't miss it.